Uh-oh. Okay, we'll start with this. On the heels of Yemi Mercado's latest successful, quote-unquote successful, title defense, unbeaten up-and-comer from Poland, Grzyb, has made her bid to be the next fighter that challenges Yemi for the WBC title, saying in so many words, "Hey, WBC Boxing, I have the recipe for a show. Give me Mercado."
Be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it.
Does Lara actually stand a better chance of beating Yemi than, say, Ramla Ali did? You know, ahead of the fight between Ramla and Yemi, Lara made it clear she didn't think that Ramla was very good. She didn't think Ramla was worthy of a title shot. That's what she said before the fight. Now, after the fight, she's still calling for it. She wants Yemi. She's calling for the fight on Twitter, otherwise known as X. She's calling for it on Instagram. She's calling for it. EBU champion Lara Grzyb, who's good, but how good is she? It just so happens that Lara Grzyb is currently ranked at number 4 in the latest set of updated WBC ranked standings, ranked behind Mayerline Rivas, Siegeline Lafarve, and Deborah Dionysius. It's conceivable that Lara might have to go through one or some of them before she becomes a mandatory for Yemi Mercado. And to my knowledge, Yemi's fight with Ramla was not a mandated title defense. That wasn't a mandatory. I think that was a voluntary title defense. Not a mandatory. If what Lara wants is to force the fight and force the issue with Yemi Mercado, she may have to challenge Argentina's own Deborah Dionysius, former IBF champion Deborah Dionysius, who would be a considerable step up in class from the kind of fighters that Lara has been fighting. Now, Lara's good. On a certain level, Lara's very good. European level. But she hasn't fought anybody that's world level. She hasn't faced any world-class fighters. Ahead of what was the Ramla Ali versus Yemi Mercado fight, I remember that Lara took a shot at Ramla for having been knocked out by Julissa Guzman. She posted a screenshot of the knockout, but the funny thing is, Lara hasn't faced anybody as solid as Julissa Guzman. Not yet. She hasn't fought a hard puncher like that. So how would she fare? We really don't know. But it's good. It's good that she is now setting her sights on world honors. It's good that she wants to challenge Yemi Mercado for what she's got, though how it works out, I really can't say. I mean, the only scenario where I could see Lara winning a points decision against Yemi is if they bring Yemi to Poland, to where you could actually give Lara decent odds to win the fight, how she normally wins fights. I feel like she would need home field advantage. Now, I've been watching Lara Grzyb for years, and she's actually very good. Very fast, very athletic, though not big on power. She's light on her feet, she's got some speed in those hands, but power, not power. She's not big on power. She's not a knockout merchant. She's not a combination puncher either. She's not throwing 4 and 5 punch combinations. With Lara, it's really just 1 and 2 punches at a time, on her toes, moving around, and using the ring. She can handle herself on the inside and fight from the outside, throwing 1 and 2 punches at a time, but she's not a work rate fighter. She's not a volume puncher, and she's not big on power. She's more of a finesse fighter, a cerebral fighter. She's got speed, she's got athleticism, and movement, accuracy, but power, she's not big on power. So can that combination of ingredients be enough to beat Yemi Mercado? And I feel like Lara would need home field advantage to win a decision. I mean, she would need home field advantage. She would need for the fight to be in Poland. Thus, you'd be asking Yami Mercado to travel, and for Yami to travel, you're gonna have to pay her, and you're gonna have to pay her well.
It has to be in Poland?
It being in Poland would better Lara's chances of success, because if it were in Arizona, like the Ramla Ali fight was in Arizona, they're gonna give it to Yami.
Not that Yami's based out of Arizona. She doesn't normally fight there. She normally fights in Mexico. And if the fight is in Mexico...
They're gonna give it to Yami.
In Arizona?
They're gonna give it to Yami.
In Mexico?
They're gonna give it to Yami.
Lara would need for the fight to happen in Poland.
So now ask yourself, what are the odds of that happening? Having Yami travel to Poland as a traveling champion to fight Lara? That's the question.
It's a good fight.
If they can make it. I don't know that Lara Grzyb is on Yami Mercado's radar, but I'm not against her getting that opportunity. If she feels she's got what it takes to beat Yami Mercado and take the WBC title from her, make the fight.
I'll watch it.
I hate I'm anti-black.
Yeah, let's join the coup. Let's fuck the
Nick KK. I hate Nick.
I'm the leader of KKK and I summon you to be the knight in China.
Not KKK.
No, I'm KK.
I've got the AK-47 ready. Let's get the next George Floyd.
Hey, let's go bring George Floyd back to life and kill.
I'm gonna put my knee on his
Nigga, we
neck.
need.
Relax. Let me go in on these.
What's up?
Hey, okay. Now what? I'm not
Fuck that
mad.
other.
Fuck no, really. Fuck that.
I smoke that other cap. Say something else. I'm gonna come wave you at a smack shelter.
Bro, fuck you and fuck my. Bro, fuck all you motherfuckers, bro. You guys are weird as fuck. Fuck all you weird ass fuckers.
You're gonna regret saying all of this when you
Guess
sober
what?
up.
Guess
Ryan.
what? I will never be touched because I'm with God. I'm with Jesus.
Oh my god, you're an idiot, right?
Nico regrets what he says and think Ryan gonna regret what he said.
I won't. I'm not regretting it. I swear to God, I'm not. I've never been touched in my life. Here, bro. You actually.
Ryan, you want to talk about what's going on in the world? You don't even know
No, shut the fuck up,
about
Sneako.
Israel
You're
or
not really like that,
Palestine.
bro. You're a culture vulture. You want to be a Muslim support you. You weird, bro. You're like a bro. Fuck you, bro. I hope all of you went to the fucking
So by now I'm sure that many of you have heard Ryan Garcia's latest modus operandi to get attention.
A bigoted rant.
Des Bryant reacted to the rant by saying, I just heard Ryan Garcia on the Spaces using the N-word in the same sentence. He needs some real help and he's really hurt inside. Funny and sad at the same time, to which veteran boxing scribe Steve Kim responded, he's the exact same guy he was when you were okay and amused by him. LOL. People now walking back their support of Ryan Garcia after months of exploiting his words for engagement and numbers. Folks, this is who he's always been. He's never been meant to be taken all that seriously.
No, perhaps not.
But his latest rant does involve serious themes and serious matters that are serious to many, many different groups based on race and religion. Serious enough that Nico Ali Walsh said Ryan Garcia is going to get himself hurt or worse. Someone should be looking out.
They should take his phone.
Virgil Ortiz said, you need help, dog. Hall of Fame promoter Lou DiBella said, Twitter X is the greatest enabler of public manifestations of mental illness. You can fucking mentally disintegrate on this app, cause mayhem, and your engagement increases as you trend wildly. This is a major downside of freedom of speech, particularly given human interest in...
Oh, we're back to excusing Ryan's behavior behind the guise of mental illness.
Train wrecks. We are voyeurs of the personal destruction and devolution of others. God help Ryan Garcia, cause he isn't helping himself, nor does it seem anyone else is. Fucking sad. To which a Twitter user
With a nice ass.
that goes by the name Monica said, free speech shouldn't be included in the discussion. The tragedy lies in the fact that the populace desires such dysfunction and hatred. Former IBF champion Ishay Smith said, this is who you bitch-ass YouTubers were capping for. Look in the mirror. Start bleaching your face. It's pathetic. Nothing is wrong with him, though.
Or what he does, or how he behaves.
In his latest bid to still get attention on himself, while serving out his suspension that will see him sit out what remains of this year, Ryan Garcia has so decided to go on a hate-filled rant targeting several different groups and demographics on the premise of race and religion.
My thoughts.
So for the last couple of months, you've heard Ryan Garcia say that he's a man of God, and he's got God on his side.
Not the God of Abraham.
Ryan prays to a different God. No, his God is social media.
The attention that he gets.
What encompasses this is the lengths that he's willing to go to continue to get that attention in the absence of his professional boxing career, in the absence of fights, actual fights, because he's supposed to be a boxer. His modus operandi to get attention are the boundaries that he's willing to push, the lengths he's willing to go to that most others would not. So much so that some people think he's mentally ill.
Well, has he been diagnosed with anything? Manic depression? Schizophrenia?
Because if he hasn't, then I wouldn't rush to that assumption. I wouldn't jump to that conclusion.
Well, maybe he's a bit of a sociopath.
But no more a sociopath than your average teen or tween on social media that is willing to push the envelope and push the boundaries to get attention on themselves by any means necessary to attain celebrity, because that's what I see.
Now, if you want to classify that as a mental illness, classify it as a mental illness.
But what I hear from Ryan when he's snickering and giggling with his buddies, hurling racial epithets,
slurs.
It's not that dissimilar from what you would hear from a 12 or a 13-year-old while you're playing Call of Duty with the headset on. It's all for reactions.
So he's not a bigot?
I didn't say that. Anyone so cavalier with matters that hit close to home, like what happened to George Floyd.
If you're gonna use that to quote-unquote troll people,
saying the kind of things that Ryan and his buddies said on the spaces, well, maybe you are a bigot underneath it all. Maybe you are.
a racist.
But that in and of itself doesn't make you manic or a manic depressive, schizophrenic,
bipolar.
That this kind of behavior, which is in keeping with what you would expect from a child, is not necessarily the sign of a mental illness so much as a sign of immaturity.
Ryan is immature.
He's like a little kid. But what's jarring about it is that he's not a little kid. He's literally a grown man in his mid-20s, and this is how he behaves.
His brain is rotted from too much internet, too much social media, that if he prays to a god,
it's not the God of Abraham, and it ain't the God of Moses. His God is social media.
You remember how they used to say, do it for the vine, do it for the gram.
For the algorithm. Everything he does is for the web, and the attention that he gets on the web, no matter who he offends or what the consequences are. And rest assured, after a hate-filled rant like that, whether he was trolling or not, there are going to be consequences. You might have just cost yourself a lot of support from a lot of different groups, a lot of different demographics that are not going to be okay with what you said.
They were okay with everything up until this point, up until you drew a line in the sand and then you crossed it.
What you think is a laughing matter is what sparked riots in the streets many, many years ago, so that many years later, you can joke about it.
A lot of people don't think it's funny.
Or think that you're so charming, such a debonair, that they're going to overlook these glaring character flaws because now you've crossed the line.
With them you have.
It's not about boxing or beating Devin Haney anymore. You have effectively made it about something else. Something that a lot of people, maybe they won't forgive.
What is he trying to do? Become boxing's biggest heel?
You guys give him too much credit, like he's this fucking mastermind whenever he gets out there and does something stupid to draw attention to himself.
Trash is a hotel room with a motorcycle helmet with no motorcycle in sight. What was the point of that?
What was the point of this? You think this is all part of some elaborate plan?
Turning this many people against you.
To accomplish what? To get attention. Well, this ain't the right kind of attention in a very general sense. This isn't the kind of attention that you want.
Just cost yourself a lot of fans.
Scoffing at what doesn't matter to you that may matter to them.
And all you can say is, I was trolling.
You're not a little kid. So the real question is, when is Ryan Garcia gonna grow up?
Because he needs to.
Former NBA player and boxing connoisseur Stephen Jackson said, somebody tell Ryan Garcia to pull up to 3rd Ward, Texas, and say that shit again about G. Floyd, and we'll see what happens. When people bring up the dead, it shows who's really dying inside. Free game. It's a different set of rules outside the ring, kid. Get some help before it's too late.
I wouldn't describe Ryan Garcia's mental state as a mental illness in the traditional sense.
Now, perhaps in the years to come, In future generations, this kind of behavior may be so classified as a form of a mental illness. How far this younger generation was willing to go online to draw attention to themselves, irrespective of who they offend or alienate, and what repercussions may result in the real world for attention in the digital one. There is definitely something dysfunctional, morbid there, and morbid about that, a form of sociopathy perhaps. Perhaps Ryan is a bit of a sociopath or a narcissist, that he thinks he can go to these lengths, go this far, and get away with it. Why would you be able to get away with it?
Because he's a coward.
He's the kind of man who would insult Caleb Plant's wife, target her, then wrap himself inside a protective cocoon of security guards should anybody try to press him for it. Ryan is a coward.
He's basically Neon with a left hook.
You know that skinny Indian kid? That's his name, right? Neon?
Ryan is not that far removed from a social media influencer like Neon.
His behaviors, his demeanor towards what are serious matters to others but not serious to him is not that dissimilar from what you get from a Neon.
Be wary of any content creators on social media platforms looking to justify Ryan Garcia's behavior, rationalizing reasons why it's supposed to be all right, and that's already started.
Wasn't me. Ishay Smith pointed it out that, part of the reason some of these people, some, though not all, have been all right with Ryan Garcia coming in 3 pounds over for the fight, then testing positive for a banned substance, that they've given him a green light to do whatever he wants to do.
What's really underneath that?
Even when he adds racial slurs and bigoted comments about religion to his portfolio, that some of these people are still okay with whatever he does.
Is because they're bigoted too. They're racists too.
Obviously, they lack the courage of their convictions to carry on the way that Ryan is carried on. Ryan took it a step further, a step they won't take, but what they will do
Is defend him.
to still showing you cards. If you're all right with those kind of behaviors and those kinds of sentiments, it's gotta be because you harbor them too.
And that's why you're okay with Ryan coming in 3 pounds over. You're okay with him testing positive for a banned substance.
What's really underneath it, when Ryan Garcia uses that hard R and you choose to go up to bat for him.
Now I understand why you're so happy with him beating Devin Haney.
Even if he had to come in 3 pounds over to do it, even if he had to use a banned substance to do it,
He had to cheat to do it. You're all right.
and now we see why. Because you are so emboldened by his behavior, what is really underneath it all. So how many content creators that have been going up to bat for Ryan Garcia belong to those aforementioned groups that he has so offended? Will you continue to defend him now for the algorithm?
Gonna sell your soul so that people will watch your videos?
Are you gonna keep riding that scooter? You can. It's a free country.
But freedom of choice doesn't mean freedom of consequence.
Freedom of speech. You're free to speak into existence whatever you like. But people are finding out about you,
Know what you are!
what Ryan is, and what really motivates you, and a lot of what we've been seeing the last few weeks and months.
Know what you are!